The galaxy had gathered for a show. Every major alien empire, every powerful military force, every curious species waited in the neutral star system known as Voral Edge. The area was calm, floating between two bright suns, with a large space platform built just for meetings like this. It was supposed to be a demonstration of strength, a peaceful display of power. And this time, everyone expected humanity to arrive with a massive armada. Rumors had spread for weeks. Humans built a new super fleet. They will show us their biggest ships. They want to scare the galaxy. So when the announcement came, human fleet arriving in 60 seconds, every ship in the system turned its cameras and sensors toward the jump point. Alien reporters started broadcasting live. Admirals improved their uniforms. Soldiers checked their weapons. Even civilians gathered around screens to witness the moment. And then it happened. A bright blue tear opened in space, like a wound cutting through the sky. Energy rippled outward, and ships came out of warp. Not hundreds. Not dozens. Not even 20. 7. Only 7 ships. A strange silence fell across the system. At first, no one understood. Maybe the sensors were wrong. Maybe the rest of the human fleet would appear any moment. But the warp tier closed, and nothing else came. 7 small ships drifted into position, moving slowly, almost too calmly. They were not huge war machines. They were not dreadnoughts. They were not battleships. The aliens stared in confusion. Then the laughter began. Across the system, alien officers laughed loudly on open channels. Screens showed alien commentators trying not to laugh, but failing. Military analysts called it a joke. Some fleets even lowered their shields because they did not feel threatened. A Grawl commander shouted, "Are these cargo ships? Did humans lose the real fleet?" A Zarian admiral joked, "Maybe they ran out of fuel on the way." A Yular reporter said live, "This is embarrassing for humanity. What a tiny fleet." Every camera zoomed in on the human ships. They were small, sleek, and quiet. No large guns were visible. No heavy armor. No giant cannons. They looked harmless. But on the bridge of the lead human ship, Commander Elias Ward stood with his hands behind his back. His face was calm, his breathing slow. He heard the alien laughter through open channels. He saw their mocking messages. But he did not react. Humans had learned long ago that silence was sometimes the strongest answer. His second officer, a young woman named Mira Hale, whispered, "Commander, they are making fun of us. Should we respond?" Elias shook his head. "Let them laugh," he said softly. "They do not know what these ships carry." Outside, the 7 ships slowly arranged themselves into a perfect formation. Not a single movement was out of sync. They did not sway. They did not drift. They moved like pieces of a larger machine. Even alien sensors had trouble predicting their exact flight paths. But the aliens were too busy laughing to notice. On the other side of the system, an elder alien historian watched the human ships carefully. He saw something the others missed. "Look at the energy field around them," he whispered to his assistant. "Those small ships, they hide something powerful." But no one listened to him. The mockery continued. The aliens believed size meant power. Bigger ships meant stronger weapons. Larger armor meant better defense. They had been raised with that belief for thousands of years. But humans were different. For the last century, humanity had been working in silence. They had stopped building giant ships. Instead, they built smarter ships. Their scientists studied energy focusing, shield compression, and weapon fusion. They wanted technology that did not depend on size, but on precision. And these 7 ships were the result. Commander Elias looked at the screen showing the alien fleets. Hundreds of ships. Thousands of eyes watching him. Millions across the galaxy waiting for the big human reveal. He lifted his hand slowly. "Prepare," he said. On each human ship, the crew sat straight. Their eyes focused. Their hands rested on glowing controls. Engines began to whisper. Power levels rose inside the core. And the sky around them started to shimmer faintly. But to the aliens, none of that mattered. To them, it was still just a small fleet. They did not know. They did not expect it. And they were not ready for what humanity was about to show them. The alien fleet still laughed, but something had changed. Their laughter was a little softer now, a little unsure. It was as if a quiet warning had started to grow in the back of their minds. Something about the human ships felt wrong. Or maybe too perfect. The 7 ships held position without shaking, without drifting, without even the smallest energy leak. Their formation was sharp, clean, and unnaturally smooth. This level of control was rare. Even the most advanced alien fleets made tiny mistakes. But not the humans. Not today. Commander Elias Ward watched the enemy fleets on his screen. They were spread across the system, rows of giant warships, heavy cruisers, and dreadnoughts that looked like floating mountains of metal. Together they formed a wall so massive that it almost blocked the stars. They believed they were unstoppable. Elias spoke calmly. "Charge primary cores. Maintain silence." His crew responded with a single word, "Yes, Commander." Inside each of the 7 ships, something extraordinary awakened. The heart of their power, the quantum pulse core, began to glow from deep inside the hull, sending soft waves of blue light across every panel. These ships did not rely on size. They relied on focused energy, compressed to near impossible levels. No alien empire ever understood how humans discovered this technology. Some believed they found ancient ruins. Others believed humans made a deal with secret beings. And a few thought humans simply learned faster because they were desperate. Desperation often creates genius. Outside, only a faint shimmer appeared around the small fleet. But the alien sensors suddenly reacted in panic. Warning, unknown energy spike. Danger, cannot identify power source. Alert, level 10 threat detected. Alien captain stared at the readings with disbelief. A Zarian officer shouted, "Impossible. Their ships are too small to hold that much power." A Grawl scientist scanned again. "This must be an error. No vessel that size can produce such energy." But the readings were correct. The galaxy stopped laughing. And then, in the middle of the growing silence, a proud alien commander opened his channel. His voice echoed across the system. "Humans. Your little ships cannot win. We will give you one last chance to leave, or..." Elias raised his hand. "Fire." The human fleet moved first. But their attack was not loud. It was not messy. There were no colorful beams, no glowing missiles, no dramatic explosions. Instead, a silent flash spread from the 7 ships, a thin, bright wave of compressed light. For 1 second, nothing happened. For the second after, everything changed. Alien dreadnoughts, ships the size of cities, shook violently. Their armor twisted, bent, and then cracked like glass under extreme pressure. In the next moment, they broke apart completely. But there was no fire. No debris. The giant ship simply vanished, erased cleanly from existence. Panic exploded across the alien fleets. What weapon is that? Impossible. They have never shown this power before. Retreat, retreat now. Elias stood still, watching with quiet eyes as the enemy ships scrambled. Crew members from other species screamed and ran across their bridges. Alarms rang everywhere. Ships tried to turn, tried to jump, tried to shield themselves. But it was too late. The human ships glided forward, moving in perfect harmony, not rushing, not slowing. Their engines produced a low hum that felt more like a warning heartbeat than a sound. The aliens launched counterattacks, hundreds of missiles, plasma blasts, heavy beams. But the moment any weapon touched the shimmering field around the human ships, the attack dissolved into sparks, leaving no trace. Mira Hale, standing beside Elias, whispered, "Commander, everything they fire just disappears." Elias answered softly, "Quantum compression. Nothing large can survive entry." Mira nodded slowly, still amazed. "So all their weapons are useless?" "Every single one," Elias said. Across the system, fear replaced confidence. The aliens finally understood, the humans were not weak. The small fleet was not a mistake. It was a test. And they had failed. A Euler broadcast reporter collapsed on screen, whispering, "The small fleet is a superweapon." The human ships formed a new shape in the sky. A spear formation. The message was clear. We do not need 1,000 ships. 7 are enough. And you should have never laughed. Elias lowered his hand once more. "Advance," he said. And humanity answered the galaxy's mockery with the kind of silence that was louder than any war cry. The Voral Edge system was no longer filled with laughter. It was filled with fear. Alien fleets that once stood proudly in perfect lines were now scattered like frightened birds. Some ships drifted without control. Others tried to retreat, engines burning at maximum power. Many simply froze, afraid to move, afraid to be noticed by the small human fleet that advanced slowly through the system. The 7 human ships glowed with soft blue light, their hulls shining as if they were made of something beyond metal. The shimmering field around them pulsed gently, swallowing every attack that touched it. Nothing could break through. Nothing could stop them. Inside the flagship, Commander Elias Ward remained calm. He spoke quietly, "Hold formation. We move forward. No more, no less." His crew trusted him completely. Their eyes were steady. Their hands did not shake. They knew they were inside something extraordinary, something built with the full determination of their species. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, thousands of worlds watched the live broadcast in shock. Children, elders, soldiers, leaders, all stared at the screens, unable to believe what they were seeing. A Euler grandmother whispered, "But, they are only 7 ships." Her grandson replied, "Grandma, they are human ships." Back in Voral Edge, the alien admirals were falling apart. One admiral paced wildly. "What are these weapons? How is this possible?" Another, trembling, said, "This power, no species should have it." A third slammed his claws against the console. "If they can erase dreadnoughts this easily, what else can they do?" Their screens flashed with more warnings. Unidentified energy field detected. Threat level beyond measurement. Retreat recommended. But retreat was almost impossible now. The human fleet had positioned itself between the alien forces and the warp exit. Any ship trying to flee would cross directly in front of the spear formation. And no one wanted to test their luck. Elias viewed the enemy fleets calmly. He wasn't smiling, but there was a quiet strength in his expression. He had predicted everything, the laughter, the insults, the arrogance. The galaxy had always judged humans wrong. Mira Hale turned to him. "Commander, how far should we push them?" Elias thought for a moment. "Far enough that they never mock us again. But not far enough to break them completely." Mira nodded. She understood. Humans did not want to destroy the galaxy. They wanted the galaxy to understand. Suddenly, an alien ship tried one last desperate attack. A Grawl battleship charged forward, its engines burning red. Its commander, filled with pride and fear, screamed across the channel. "I will not run from humans. I will show the galaxy our strength." He launched a barrage of missiles. Then he fired a massive energy beam, bright enough to light half the system. But the moment the weapons touched the human field, everything dissolved into tiny particles. The energy beam faded to nothing. The missiles turned into dust. The Grawl commander froze in shock. Elias lifted his hand again. Just one ship fired. A single pulse, thin, quiet, almost gentle, shot toward the Grawl battleship. For half a second, the ship glowed white. For the next half second, it broke apart into smooth fragments. Then the fragments melted into pure light, and vanished. The entire system fell silent. The aliens finally understood. Humanity did not come to show numbers. Humanity did not come to show armor. Humanity came to show precision. And that precision was terrifying. In a hidden observation station far away, an old alien scientist whispered, "This is not human technology. This is human will." The humans continued moving. Their formation shifted again, this time into a broad shield shape. It was a protective stance, not an attack stance. This confused the aliens even more. Mira asked softly, "Are we protecting them, Commander?" Elias replied, "If they think we want to destroy them, they will fight harder. If they see we are in control, they will listen." The alien admirals stared at the human formation in disbelief. They are shielding us. Why? Are they trying to talk? Humans never do something without reason. Slowly, the idea began to grow. Maybe humanity was not here to crush them. Maybe humanity was here to teach them. Across the system, ships powered down their weapons. Lights dimmed. The mocking voices were gone. Fear had replaced pride. Silence had replaced laughter. Respect had replaced arrogance. The small fleet, once the joke of the galaxy, had now become the galaxy's lesson. And the lesson was not finished yet. The Voral Edge system had become silent. The stars seemed to hold their breath. Alien fleets that once stood proudly now hovered uncertainly, their engines dimmed, their weapons lowered. No one dared to make a move. No one dared to break the silence. All eyes were on the 7 human ships. Every sensor, every camera, every broadcast channel in the galaxy was focused on this tiny formation, small in size, but enormous in presence. The shimmering field around them pulsed steadily, like the heartbeat of something ancient and unstoppable. Inside the flagship, Commander Elias Ward stood tall, hands behind his back, gaze calm and sharp. He had never enjoyed war. He had never wanted to scare anyone. But today was necessary. Today the galaxy needed a reminder. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not small. Humanity was not to be mocked. Mira Hale stepped forward, watching the frozen fleets. "Commander, they are ready to listen." Elias nodded slightly. "Then it is time." He gave a signal, and the human ships shifted again, but this time, their movement was graceful, slow, peaceful. They formed a circle around the alien fleets, not trapping them, but protecting them. The galaxy watched in shock. A Vexorian admiral whispered, "They surround us, but they do not attack." A Zarian captain trembled. "Are they shielding us?" A Yular elder cried softly. "Humans are dangerous, but they are also kind." The realization spread. Humans had complete control of the battlefield, but they showed mercy. The alien leaders could not understand it. Mercy was rare in the galaxy. Power usually meant destruction. Strength usually meant dominance. But the humans did not destroy their enemies. They simply waited. And finally, Elias opened a galaxy-wide transmission. The screen lit up on every ship, every home, every station. Billions watched as the human commander appeared, calm, steady, unbroken. His voice carried far beyond the battlefield. "You laughed at our fleet," Elias began. His tone was not angry. It was calm, almost gentle. "You thought size showed strength. You believed power meant loud weapons and giant ships. He paused, letting his words sink deep into the hearts of every listener. But humans understand something different. We learn. We adapt. We build with purpose, not pride. Across the system, alien captains lowered their eyes. The shame was heavy, but it was deserved. Elias continued, "These 7 ships are small because we learned to make every part matter. We learned to focus energy with precision. We learned to fight without destroying everything around us." He raised his head slightly. "We do not seek domination. We do not seek war. But we will answer when challenged. And we will answer with everything we are." On the alien ships, some officers cried quietly. Some stood frozen. Others felt admiration growing inside their hearts. Elias stepped closer to the screen. Today was not about destruction. Today was about respect. If you want peace, we will give peace. If you want alliance, we will build alliance. But if you challenge humanity again. He slowly opened his hand, and behind him, the camera showed the 7 glowing ships. We will answer back. A deep silence covered the galaxy. Then something unexpected happened. The alien fleets powered down completely. One by one, they turned off their weapons, lowered their shields, and dimmed their engines in a display of respect. It was a gesture seen only in rare moments of surrender or honor. Mira whispered, "Commander, they are bowing." Elias nodded. "Good. It means they finally understand." One brave alien admiral unmuted his channel. His voice shook. "Humanity, we were wrong. We thought you were small. But now we know, your strength is not in the size of your ships. It is in the strength of your will." Elias gave a small nod. "Then we will leave peacefully." He turned to his crew. "Bring us home." The 7 human ships turned slowly, their formation perfect as always. As they moved toward the jump point, the alien fleets cleared a wide path, silent, respectful, humbled. A young alien officer whispered, "They came as a small fleet, but they leave as legends." When the human ship slipped into warp, the entire galaxy remained quiet for several long seconds. Then a single message spread across interstellar networks, shared from world to world, species to species. Never underestimate humanity again. And no one ever did.